The gates of 56 Hope Road don't open to luxury. They open to memory. Bob Marley lived here, wrote here, and quietly turned a modest Kingston house into the heartbeat of reggae culture. The paint is worn, the walls imperfect, yet the air still feels alive, vibrating with music and belief. This isn't Beverly Hills. This is something louder and deeper. A simple home became a global symbol because one man filled it with purpose. To understand how that happened, we have to go back, before the icon, before the anthems, to a boy with nothing but rhythm. Born on February 6, 1945 in 9 Mile, Robert Nesta Marley entered the world far from fame. His father, Norval Sinclair Marley, was a white Jamaican of English descent who served in the Royal Marines, but was largely absent from Bob's life. After Norval's death in 1955, Bob and his mother, Cedella Malcolm, moved to Trenchtown, a crowded, impoverished Kingston community where survival required toughness, creativity, and faith. Trenchtown would become both his classroom and his catalyst. There, Marley faced ridicule for his mixed heritage, but found belonging in music. As a student at Stepney Primary and Secondary School, he bonded with Neville "Bunny" Livingston, later known as Bunny Wailer. Their friendship deepened in Trenchtown, where music was everywhere, on street corners, in yards, and through open windows. Nearby lived singer Joe Higgs, who recognized their potential and mentored the group, teaching vocal harmony and introducing Marley to guitar. Those informal lessons laid the foundation for a sound that would soon travel far beyond Jamaica. By 1963, Marley co-founded the Wailers with Bunny Wailer, Peter Tosh, Junior Braithwaite, Beverly Kelso, and Cherry Smith. The group's early recordings captured the raw energy of Kingston youth, blending ska, rocksteady, and emerging reggae rhythms. Their breakout single, "Simmer Down," produced during this period, shot to #1 in Jamaica in 1964, turning local frustration into a national anthem and announcing Marley as a voice to watch. Through the late 1960s and early 1970s, Marley refined his message. Collaborations with producer Lee Scratch Perry sharpened the Wailers' sound, marrying hypnotic bass lines with lyrics about injustice, resilience, and hope. When the original lineup dissolved in 1974, Marley stepped forward under the banner Bob Marley and the Wailers, carrying the group's spirit into a broader international arena. The turning point came with the 1977 album Exodus. Recorded in exile after a failed assassination attempt in Jamaica, the record fused political urgency with spiritual calm, producing classics that resonated across borders. From there, Marley's influence exploded. Songs like "No Woman, No Cry," "One Love," "Get Up, Stand Up," and "Redemption Song" transformed reggae into a global language of unity and resistance. His compilation Legend would later become the best-selling reggae album of all time, cementing his place in music history. By the time Marley became a worldwide icon, selling more than 75 million records, his story remained rooted in the places that shaped him. Every lyric traced back to struggle, community, and belief. And when success finally arrived, it didn't pull him away from home. It led him to a modest Kingston house that would quietly become a sanctuary, a studio, and a symbol. Home in Kingston, Jamaica. In the heart of Kingston, just off a busy road that never truly sleeps, stands a house that feels strangely calm. This is 56 Hope Road, better known today as the Bob Marley Museum, a place where music didn't just play, it breathed. Bob Marley purchased the 19th century colonial home in 1975, at the height of his creative powers. Unlike the gated mansions of American superstars, this house was modest, open, and deeply connected to the street outside. It wasn't built to impress. It was built to work. Inside these walls, Marley lived, wrote, rehearsed, and welcomed musicians, activists, and friends from around the world. The home also became the informal headquarters of Tuff Gong, the label that helped carry reggae from Kingston to the global stage. Every room tells a quiet story. Marley's bedroom remains exactly as it was: simple furniture, personal objects, and an unmistakable sense of stillness. The walls still carry visible bullet marks from the 1976 assassination attempt, a haunting reminder of how close violence came to silencing his message. Yet just 2 days after being shot, Marley still took the stage at the Smile Jamaica concert. That contradiction, danger outside, peace within, defines this house. After Marley's death, it was his wife, Rita Marley, who made the decision that changed everything. In 1986, she transformed the home into a museum, not a shrine of excess, but a preservation of truth. Nothing was over-polished. Nothing was staged. The goal was simple: let people feel Bob Marley, not just remember him. Today, the museum expands beyond the house itself. An intimate 80-seat theater screens rare interviews and concert footage. A photo gallery captures moments of joy, exhaustion, protest, and prayer. The record shop and gift store offer Marley's music and symbols, while the One Love Cafe serves traditional Jamaican dishes that ground the experience firmly in local culture. This isn't a celebrity attraction. It's a living space where art, belief, and daily life once collided. And while that Kingston home tells the story of where Bob Marley lived and created, what he chose to drive reveals just as much. Because for him, movement was never about luxury, but about freedom, simplicity, and staying connected to the people on the streets below. Cars. One of the most iconic vehicles associated with Marley is the BMW Bavaria. Powered by a 2.8-liter inline-six engine producing around 150 horsepower, the Bavaria could reach a top speed of roughly 120 miles per hour. Impressive for its time, yet never loud or aggressive. Built by BMW, the car balanced performance with comfort. Inside, leather seats, wood trim, and a spacious cabin created a calm, refined driving experience. It was a car for long roads and clear thinking, not for showing off, much like Marley himself. Another vehicle often linked to him is the Mercedes-Benz 450 SL, a classic convertible from Mercedes-Benz. With a 4.5-liter V8 delivering about 180 horsepower and smooth acceleration, it represented understated luxury. The interior featured signature Mercedes craftsmanship, wood accents, quality materials, and a relaxed driving posture. Whether Marley officially owned it remains debated, but its timeless elegance fit his image perfectly. And while his cars carried him across cities and stages, the real story of Bob Marley's wealth lies not in metal or engines, but in music that continues to move the world. Income and net worth. At the time of his death in 1981, Bob Marley's personal net worth was estimated at $11.5 million, roughly $40 million today when adjusted for inflation. For a man who rarely chased money and openly rejected material excess, that figure already spoke volumes. Yet the real story begins after his passing. Bob Marley sold more than 75 million records worldwide, placing him among the best-selling artists in music history. Albums like Exodus, Kaya, and especially Legend, still the best-selling reggae album of all time, never stopped moving units. Music royalties from physical sales, publishing rights, and radio play continue to generate enormous income. While streaming platforms pay modestly compared to earlier eras, his catalog still produces an estimated $25 to $30 million annually in combined royalties. Beyond music, Marley's name became a global brand, carefully stewarded by his family. Businesses such as Marley Natural, House of Marley, and Marley Coffee transformed his philosophy into sustainable commercial ventures. These operations generate tens of millions each year through cannabis-related products, eco-friendly audio equipment, and ethically sourced coffee. Merchandising and licensing further expanded the empire. Apparel, accessories, and global licensing deals using Marley's image, lyrics, and identity are estimated to bring in another $25 to $30 million annually. Add to that tourism revenue from the Bob Marley Museum and renewed media interest, including the 2024 biographical film, Bob Marley, One Love, and the numbers climb even higher. Today, Bob Marley's estate is valued at well over $500 million. Ironically, he became one of the richest musicians in history without ever trying to be rich. His wealth wasn't built on strategy or ambition. It was built on truth, rhythm, and a message the world refused to let die. But behind the numbers and the global empire was still a deeply human life, shaped by faith, family, and a quiet personal code that mattered more to him than money ever did. Personal life and death. Bob Marley married Rita Marley on February 10, 1966, in Kingston. Their marriage became the emotional anchor of his life, even as fame pulled him across continents. Together they raised children in a household where music, faith, and discipline lived side by side. In total, Marley acknowledged 11 children, including 3 born to Rita and others adopted into the Marley name. Several of them, Ziggy Marley, Stephen Marley, and Damian Marley, would later carry his legacy forward as Grammy-winning musicians. Faith shaped every decision Marley made. A devoted Rastafarian, he was affiliated with the 12 tribes of Israel, specifically the tribe of Joseph. His beliefs informed his commitment to Pan-Africanism, spiritual resistance, and natural living. Cannabis, to Marley, was sacrament rather than vice, used for meditation and creativity. He converted fully to Rastafari in 1966 and faced arrests for possession, including a fine in London in 1968, without ever renouncing his stance. In July 1977, Marley received devastating news: a malignant melanoma under the nail of his right big toe. Doctors recommended amputation. Marley refused. His faith and his calling as a performer made the loss of a body part unthinkable. Instead, he opted for limited surgery, removing the nail and nail bed. He kept touring. He kept singing. By September 1980, the cancer had spread. Marley collapsed while jogging in Central Park. Scans revealed metastases in his brain, lungs, and liver. His final concert took place days later in Pittsburgh. His body failing, his voice still steady. He sought alternative treatment in Germany under Joseph Issels, but the disease advanced. On the flight home, his condition worsened. The plane diverted to Miami, where he died on May 11, 1981, at just 36 years old. His last words to Ziggy: "On the way up, take me up. On the way down, don't let me down." Marley received a state funeral in Jamaica, blending Rastafari tradition with Ethiopian Orthodox elements. He was buried in 9 Mile with his red Gibson Les Paul, an open Bible at Psalm 23, and a sprig of cannabis placed by Rita. Prime Minister Edward Seaga eulogized him as not a man, but an experience. Yet death did not bring peace to his estate. Marley left no will, consistent with Rastafarian beliefs rejecting the finality of death. Under Jamaican law, Rita initially received 55% of the estate, with the remainder divided among the children. Hundreds came forward claiming lineage. A forged will, later exposed, triggered a decade-long legal battle costing millions. Ultimately, control passed from Island Records Management to Rita and the legally recognized children in 2001. Today, the estate generates $25 to $30 million annually, and Marley's influence continues to grow. He left this world early, but on his own terms, in rhythm, faith, and peace. Bob Marley showed us that greatness doesn't always shout. Sometimes it sings softly, carries truth, and lives on through generations. If you enjoyed this deeper look beyond the music, don't forget to like the video, share it with someone who feels Marley's message, and subscribe for more stories where homes, lives, and legacies intersect. Your support keeps these stories alive. Until next time, one love, and thank you for watching.